Alright everyone, we are back again with some more Rome 2. Actually, in another mod. It's called the Rome Remastered mod, brought to us by our beautiful little titled. Little mod to rebalance Rome, basically. He added some changes into it, some new factions, such as Thebes and Persia, which you will see in a second. Removed the Defender Wallardy, because he wasn't a fan of it. Of course, it is in very early. This was before he was planning on showcasing it. But I think he did a good job overall, and I wanted to show it off. So he does, because I gave him shit for it, as I always do. But of course, we have a beautiful 4v4. This was from one of the streams that Joe did. I think it was a few weeks ago, when Dan was around for a little bit. And I forgot I had this one, to be honest. I did not think I saved it. But of course, we'll start off with Averni here, which was brought to us by Rosefall Gaming. He's got himself a Noble Horse General, 4 Gallic Hunters, 3 Axe Warriors, 3 Celtic Warriors, 2 Chosen Swords, 1 Levy Freeman, 1 Oathsworn, 2 unique units called Moose Warriors, which of course going to be our heroes once I find them. These guys, yeah, there they are. There they are. Look at these guys. All fancy. All fancy. Of course, we have Iceni, which is me, a faction I almost never play, so I thought it'd be fun, because we are on the beautiful Diopolis, which has a fun little thing that I don't think they expected me to do. We have 3 heroic noble generals, or heroic nobles, including my gen, 1 fixed ballista, 3 ambushers over in that corner over there, 6 chosen sword band, and 2 regular sword band. So the little trick, of course, if you have guerrilla units that can hide, right over here. Right over here, this is the only spot you can do it. They'll spread out immediately. But, of course, it is a commonly known spot, so if you get unlucky and they just have a unit here and a unit here, you're screwed. Next up, we will move on to Persia, brought to us by Mr. Joe on it himself. He's got it, and it's a fun faction: an Immortal Sword General, an Eastern Giant Ballista, a Persian Armored Cav, 4 Elite Persian Archers, 2 Eastern Axe Warriors, 2 Immortal Macemen, and 3 Persian Macemen. One thing you'll see is they do use the Empire Divided models, because that's where they originally come from, and they are, a lot of them are readjusted for base game Rome. So add a bit more factions, make the DLC factions a bit more sustainable, considering the BS that some of these guys have. Let's look at the general, that Immortal Maceman. Look at those fancy boys. Next we have Thebes, brought to us by Garen. Epeius Lancer General, 1 fixed ballista, 1 archer, 3 mercenary Cretan archers, 3 Greek levies, 3 mercenary Thracian swords, 2 mercenary veteran hoplites, and 6 Threo spears. Only new boys of note are these, the Greek levies. Let's see them. Alright, look at these boys. Alright, with that is the attackers out of the way. Defender-wise, we have Nice Rice bringing us Desert Rome, Enora's bringing us Parthia, Propane bringing us Saba, and Dan bringing us Carthage. So all of us are a bit paranoid that there's going to be a huge sally out, which is why you see a decent amount of our numbers not on those towers initially, just to be safe. Of course, with that, let us get this party started.
Patience, men! They will not look so arrogant when the day's out! When we throw them from their walls! When the streets run red with their blood! And we will loot their homes and temples! Then they will quake! Come on! You Come on! Thrown back home!
What a true heroic speech. You can tell we're the good guys. As I always tell Madra, Uchiha. The attackers are definitely the good guys. Well, as my guerrillas start sneaking their way up, so do another guerrilla force. Desert Rome brought to us by Nice Rice with a lot of his forces. Some Numidian light infantry. They have a unique unit as well. Look at these boys, the Numidian heavy infantry. Another guerrilla unit. Now, their issue is their guerrilla units aren't hidden. So as such, Persia and Thebes are starting to make their way over there. And we also have a Desert Levy making his way out. Look at that texture glitch. Oh, look at that perfect texture right there. Damn. As such, my sword band are going to come in and, let's just say, wipe the floor with them. Levies are going to have a little bit of trouble. They're going to be shot at, but you know what? Sword band being shot at is the time of my life. But yep, Desert Levy are not going to win this fight. Levy Freemen are pretty tough. They wouldn't have won the fight the Desert Levy would have won, but especially with the way they got the charge off. But the Sword Band are going to quickly shift it over to my favor. With that, the route up to 69. Oh, now 71. Oh, they were at 69 for a second. Another unit of Desert Levy coming out, so there's only one thing to do. Prepare for the next strike. Another javelin volley. And the awkward charges. Ooh. My sword band are not doing too well initially. A lot of them dropping. Another one dropping. They look like they're losing the fight, however, they have gotten 40 more kills. So they are holding their own on this side of the fight, while this side of the fight they were getting smashed. But of course with this, they are going to easily drop another sword band in and Celtic warriors in. Up to 116 kills with those sword band, that's right. Of course, volleys coming in, heavy volleys. Chosen sword breaking here. And of course, to make sure to extend this breach out one at a time. Remember, if you do two next to each other, there is a pretty decent chance you will destroy one of your tortoises and cause a traffic jam. But a party right out of the gate. Let's see how the Desert Boys are doing. They made their way back across the river, which is the smart move. Keep yourself choke pointed in. As you know, they can't commit over here, because doing so would leave your allies out high and dry, and since we're still worried about a sally out, could lead to a sally out that way and that way, leading any army that does chase him isolated. Especially with Danis Carthage. Danis Carthage likes, I'll let you know if you ever fight him as Carthage, he likes 3 noble cavalry. So, be careful. Now, he does like a noble cavalry general, which does mean I have to... If he does have that, I have to hope that the defenders win, because that is an obligation, even if I am on the other side. I'll give them the strongest fight I can, but I still hope they win. With this initial fight on the walls, honestly, Diopolis is a hard place to attack because of this courtyard's position. Because you get choke pointed right here, and right here, if you go down that way. But what I like to do is a push with some armies this way, as well as a push this way. Reason is you can hit like this, get around and like that, like that, or like that, as well as start pushing here, here, and here. Just putting pressure on all sides, and if you can get archer supremacy, kind of isolating and eliminating this spot, and if you can take that, you've got a huge way in to the enemy. But of course, the issue is getting there. As such, our timing's a bit off because Arverni and me are pushing in here, Rosemi, while this side has been kind of forced back. Luckily, I was able to get my Chosens in, but I don't have enough support to go pushing in. Another trick you can do, of course, is utilizing the wall to get around. once you start taking control of one side. But we have, since there is no wall arty, we are able to have artillery supremacy. And as such, a lot of us took advantage of that. Trying to knock out those tribal slingers. Yep, look at that hit right on those legionnaires. Thieves got a few of his Greek levies in. I'm moving some chosen swords over there. Honestly, I'm kind of committed between the two. Averni's kind of got this one, but I'll support because there are some Massilia here. But I also want to make sure I keep pressure on the other side so they don't just full commit over here. These boys are still hidden right over here. Biding my time. Don't want to do it too early when they have a lot of reserves because that won't, of course, work. It will leave them able to crush it. Now there's a pretty sizable force just watching this corridor, which does leave their assault very weakened. Look at all these shots. I don't like fire shot at long distance because of that. One, it's very visible. Two, it's less accurate, though it does do more damage. But over here I am supporting with some Chosens. Of course, those Celtics are winning. The Sabaeans are breaking there. Let's see what else we've got. Javelin volleys coming on in, trying to force them back. Desert Legionnaires down to 141 men. Yep. They're just a little volley fest against each other. And now... I got a hit in. Yay! And that's why I like standard shot. You don't notice it as much. You did lose a little chunk of men because I hit them on the edge. But over here we are starting to overwhelm the defenders. Though they are getting some good volleys with those slingers. Of course, I brought no range because I have no archers, and I don't like slingers on attack. And that gate is now burning. With it neutralized, that is another avenue that they now have to defend. And as you can see, their defenses at the moment are not the best, so they're going to have to move more men up or move to a new position. And you can see Carthaginian units starting to move their way up, as well as a Saba unit trying to maneuver their way here. How's the artillery looking? 48 here. How's Joe's? 52. That one was at 14. Looks like he's done, though. It's not too crazy on the kills. They got luck. They did well. With this, of course, with that wall broken, Axe Warriors are going to be able to breach right in and just crush those remaining Sabaean swordsmen. Right when they were retaking that, Chosen Swordband repositioning. Next unit, Chosen Swordsmen to go support the Celtic Warriors that are not doing very well. Of course, the issue is there's so few men they are actually getting into the back of these Chosens. Sorry, these are Sword Band I'm sending in, not another Chosen Sword. I think I am sending the Chosen Sword in as well. Once this breaks, we're good. Axe Warriors breaking their way over. Galax are trying to get in. But another unit of Axe Warriors is making his way around to hit them, as you can see. Artillery here is aiming at the back of these two units of Desert Legion. To be honest, I don't care about the Greek levy lives. I know. I'm a dick. Trying to hit that big clump of Legionnaires, to be perfectly honest, as that is the best thing, but they move up, and I'm not going to be able to hit them. Which does make me sad. With this, the Moscots did try to get a charge into the Axe Warriors to do a little bit of damage. They charged back because they had the Frenzy to get a few more kills. levies are maneuvering their way through the gap now that was created and getting right on into these mascots. Yep, there we go. Getting more volleys in, breaking their charge, and now they're losing even worse. Another thing that was updated were the noble swords. So the noble swords are better now. One of the things is pricing wasn't updated that much. I think it's a little too cheap, but not by much. It's a nitpick at this point, because they do very well in this fight. I do screw up in a position or two, but they still do very well. Better than I think they should at the price, if that makes sense. That's the only thing, biggest thing I found. I know there was... Only other thing was some of the Persian units were very, very elite, but he brought expensive boys. And speaking of expensive boys, we have elite Persian swords. Or Parthian swords. Far, far stronger than the regular Parthian swords, giving them a high tier unit, but they also have a tougher one, which we don't see yet. We'll see it in a second. But I do chase the Parthian swords away. Do sacrifice a Chosen. I'll be honest with you. That was probably a misplay on my part. Yeah. They're getting crushed. But Desert Rum has made their way here to kind of form up here. So now Parthia, or Persia and Thebes can now move their boys up. And with this, Dan has made his way out with his 3 noble cavalry. He's going to be able to strike those archers. That is a huge loss for us. Ooh! Just a huge slam in. This guy's going to get a shit ton of kills. And the issue is now that we can't send reinforcements, this force is going to be slaughtered. This archer was forced to come on in as well, and, well, as you can see here, this initial push we made has been crushed, and this is a huge blow for us. Because now we have lost control of this, they're going to be taking control. He can get that cavalry in safely. And get a few hits in, if he wants. Yep, Axe Warrior's just trying to do a little bit of damage to the noble cav. But he's not going to do much. So that noble cav is still full strength with almost 200 kills. Let's see what he gets. Over 200 kills, no loss of life. That's the danger of good shock cav. That's why you don't bring a general bodyguard. Because if that was a general bodyguard, it couldn't have done that. So, I've fully maneuvered myself out of this side. I'm forming up here to go deal with this. Sword band dropping. They get to 669, let's go. Hurok Nobles heading their way in. Basically going to form up a defensive line and push in. Make sure Averni can get his boys in as well. And move my last Chosen back over there. Leave this side completely to these two. Of course, I'm just trying to blast my artillery out. I think I have by now. Yeah, I have. So as such, he can start maneuvering his way this way once I get into position to go protect his archers. The Persian archers that are dead, or out of ammo, not dead, are maneuvering up here. Trying to do what they can. I'm sending some people in here, and this is where I make my big screw up, to be honest. So I commit 1 to each flank. And I forgot about this. There is a heroic noble in there, and I forget about this, and the noble swordsman is going to go right in here and flank. Now I am outmaneuvering them here. Sneaking on in. This is going to be a big blow. I do need something to go on in to try to do something, but these noble swords are going to be able to get into the chosen sword band. Those Moscots are pretty weakened, so I turn around. I know it's a bad engagement because I'm going to just get shot by slingers, but I have to take it this way. Yep, these guys are going to die. But part of this that really screws me is these guys do really well. Here we go. We can see... Yep, elite Parthian swords. You can see they still have some people in the town center, which is why I did not move up. With this Moose Warrior is trying to come on in. It is getting shot to shit, so he's going to pull back out. I'm trying to deal with this Noble Sword up here. The one thing with Noble Swords is they don't like to break because they encourage each other. Yep, here comes the Heroics. It says this Heroic is Illusion, which is the wild part to me. Yeah. Now, I'm no longer attacked in the rear, but it is telling me I have an attack in rear penalty, which is a pain in my ass. There we go. I'm freed up. So I just got to keep going. I'll hold the defensive position, to be honest. He's going to send another Noble Sword through that path. With that, I do have this force here, trying to break through them. You're going to see the one thing that really pisses me off. Attacked in rear, 81 men, losing decisively. Yellow morale. When I had the same thing, it was red. With this, I just don't have the forces to commit down that gap, and I have to continue to hit here. Noble Sword's starting to drop. Lucky that Gallic got there. The worst part is I'm trying to get them through that same hole. They won't let me. Let's see how it's going over here. Over here, we're still having some trouble pushing. Still stuck in these choke points. Eastern Axe Warriors, Numidian Light Infantry, and the Elite Parthian Swords. Hillman doing well. I'm moving up a little more. Numidian Skirmishers, 113 kills. Yeah, versus Thraeos. The issue is these guys are actually properly positioned for that, which is sad. Yeah. I do manage to get in here, but the men are not that good. 58 losing. 87. Same morale. Losing decisively, and they just went yellow. Like, this is the one issue with the Noble Sword spam, now that they're better, is that they all buff each other. So you're going to see something that I really hate in a second. Watch this. This one's getting surrounded. That's a smart move. Watch this. Moose Warriors come on in. These guys are at green morale, 40 men left. They're now flanked in the back, so they have the attack and rear penalty. They are losing decisively. They're down to 28 men. Yellow morale. I'm getting worse morale than them. They have 18 men, and I'm about to break, and they're at yellow morale. That was the wild part for me. But over here, we have... He's still keeping that cavalry outside. I'm still maneuvering up. Trying to see... Here it is. Alright. Unit I wanted to show off. The Parthian Noble Guard. Two-handed axe. They are brutal. Brutal stuff. 71 melee attack, 32 weapon damage, 65 health, 60 armor, 25 melee defense, but 61 charge bonus. And they don't have Headhunt, they have Killing Spree. Let's see if I can get that. Sorry for the clicks. Killing Spree. Yep, increased weapon damage. So their weapon damage of 32 will jump up. But they do finally win. Almost shattered unit of 38. They're going to get in and try to help against the mercenary Moscat Nobles, which is another unit that is new. Moscat Nobles, a little tougher. Oathsworn moving around. These heroics have finally won. They had to almost kill those nobles to the last men. With this, I'm not going to have enough men to defend here soon. But we do get the Vercingetorix buff of attack. So this should help us. It is a map-wide buff at a pretty good moment where a lot of fighting is going on. As you can see, the Moscots are dropping here now. I am sending Heroic Noble. What I want to do is secure this so we can get Parthia to do that. The one other thing is this Noble needs to be readjusted. 80 health, 75 armor, 69 melee defense. Nice. It is going to be very tanky. So you're about to see. But Heroic Noble's forcing them back. Now this Parthian cavalry is going to be able to maneuver into here and eliminate some of the backline. So after that big misplay on my side, here's a good play for us. Right into the tribal slingers. Already up to 53 kills. They have lost 10 men, or 8 men. But this area is opened up now. They can go in as well. Get into more archers. Now, of course, the issue with these archers is they have... Oh, these are not the ones with spears, so we are lucky. But with this, we are able to make our push up again. We're just trying to do as much as we can to support this push. Disrupt their backline as much as possible to hope for a breakthrough over here. Force them to commit... And though I haven't told them, I'm hoping I'm forcing them to commit all their reserves so I can be sneaky. With that, the Oathsworn are able to get around, get into these noble swords. These guys break, we're able to continue to just push. These guys are finally breaking. But they have done a ton of damage. However, Thracian warriors are tearing through those Numidian heavies, but not for very long. They're going to start to even out and lose as the fight gets established. Noble Horse blocking off Noble Cav from doing the same in reverse. Issue is, as men are running out on this side, and they still have a lot of men left that they can route over this way. So we are not looking good. Moscat Nobles, what do we got over here? Yep, still a lot of ranged fire. Sadly, not a lot of aggression because just they can't afford to. They're stuck in choke points and they're not doing well on them. Held back by just heavy armor tanks. Yeah, as you can see, numbers are definitely starting to drop. Do I get 300 with these guys? That'd be nice. I think I do. I'm losing to active Scutari, well, a combination. But now we get the morale buff. So these guys are definitely going to stay in. Yep, over 300. Those boys are dropping those slingers. Those Oathsworn are getting torn apart, though, sadly. Great volley fire from Dan with those Carthaginians. Noble Cav blasting their way through. They're going to be trying to do the same thing, but they're not. I don't think they get it in time. Yeah, no, they don't. Desert Praetorians. Scary, scary boys. Look at those. Yep, so the Noble Cav pushes back. We've got here the Immortal Macemen. They're going to do what they can. Persia's going to move in. I'm still holding back with a Chosen Swordband and Heroic Noble. Because there's still 2 units of elite cavalry over there. Of course, this cavalry is finally being eliminated off the field with the Payas Lancer. I think he even got the charge off. One thing I'll say with Desert Lancers, or what is the Numidian Riders, one of my favorite units. Them being so light, do not send them against anything heavily armored, even as a flank. They're not going to do very well. You want to find an opportunity. Now with this, I did achieve my goal of being sneaky. Now I made sure when this neutralized, and then when we took it, I was talking, so they couldn't hear the warnings. Benefit of being in the voice call together. But Chosen Swordband, I'm committing in. We just don't have the numbers to not. And they did rotate over there, so I'm just taking this opportunity to try to do what we can. Chosen Swordband going on in. Rock Noble still guarding here. Persian Macemen doing what they can. Immortal Macemen, how are they doing? Not very well. But again, they're fighting a Praetorian and a Moscot Noble. Of course, with this, we're actually doing pretty well over here. We're starting to win the grind fight. However, the issue is these are elites to have to break through. And we will continue to push as long as we have the ammo. Credence going in, breaking into those elite Praetorians, as I said. We're just grinding them down on this side and actually doing pretty well. Over here, the Persian Macemen are trying to deal with those Immortal Swords coming on over to try to support this side as much as possible so they can continue their grind without being completely surrounded. And this is how you win the grind, as you defy the Conquer. So they can't commit as many men. And as you can see, they're getting ready to break through here. And if they can, it's going to be over for them. Of course, that's as long as we can continue to hold this area, which is starting to get more and more dubious. Luckily, my Heroic Nobles are pushing along here, so it's going to force these guys to commit. More Noble Guard. Minute left. I've now taken this, so what I'm doing is, as we are getting close, I'm positioning my men into defensive positions. So these guys did get noticed. Hoping they're not paying attention, but if they are, I have a secondary unit, and it's also why I'm pushing them out as far as I am. That way, if they do notice and they do charge in, I can still stop them before they get into the circle. But we're going to see a general versus the Noble Guard. And as you can see, a lot of my nobles are dropping very fast. Everything I have is popping. I think I went with the commander buffs. Because I want to do something different. Yeah, 40 weapon damage with that. So they are very tough. And as you can see, that now that the engagement is continuing on, like with all shock infantry, they were stopping. But that is a victory. Just so you know, at the end, they never got to it in time. They realized at 10 seconds, so the cavalry was coming on over, but they never made it. I did have the second unit behind them, about to get outside of the circle as well, positioned for javelins. But with that, that is over. Victory. Victory for the attackers. True victory. To be honest, even without the victory point, I think we would have won because of the ambushers in the back. Ambushers in the back would have forced them to move some men away. With the Immortal Sword coming down, I think my general would have lost, to be honest. But they would have broken through that grind fest. But it would have been a very close one because there was still a lot of healthy Carthage units when it came to cavalry. Dan is very good with those. But with this, let us go over the army comps. I want to know what you think. I think the biggest misplay for the attackers was actually me. That gate spot there allowed a noble sword in and broke 2 units. two elite units that I shouldn't have let happen. Not hard. Basically, the other side is tough for them to have a big issue with because they were just grinding. Not very fun. They were just a grind over and over. A lot of Thrail Spears hidden in, stuff like that. Defenders, I mean, the biggest misplay outside of just not keeping map awareness was, I think, the initial push when we first took the gate. We managed to take out a lot of men that they shouldn't have let drop. With that, the Immortal Swords did not do anything. Persian Armored Cavalry 139. 135 for the Elite Persian Archers. These Elite Persian Archers 218. Nothing else too crazy for them. Rose, and you can see he brought a lot of elites, that's why he was so low on men. The Immortal Maceman did not do well. Rose here, 175, 157, 114 on those Gallic Hunters. 107 on those Celtics. 102 on that Chosen. 153 on that Moose, and 142 on that Oathsworn. Not a very good trade on this side, but he got stuck with the shitty job. Both of us did. Garen here, 102 on the Hippeus. 112 on those Cretans, 183 on those Cretans. That Hippeus ended up losing to the Noble Cavalry. That's why that one's at half strength. Thracian Warrior-wise, 104. Then Thraeus, 150, 107, 119. And of course, me, 114 on my Heroic Noble. Ambushers did not get touched. Chosen's, 128, 117, 136. Other Heroics, 124, 309. Of course, Swordband, 126. And of course, I have to say, 69. Nice Swordband. Alright. Dan here, 237 on that Noble Cavalry. Still, look how healthy that one is. Like, that's what makes them so scary. 222 with those Cretans. 151, 228. Amazing job. One of the Gallics got 101. Italians 130. Heroic Nobles never got used. And then Scutari 126. Propane here. 152 on that Mercenary Muscat Noble. 130, 116 on those Slingers. Nice job. Muscats 104 there for the Muscat Marauders. And then the Noble Swords 152, 131, 305, 159. Like that's just nasty. And look at that. They basically died to the last man. Which is the one thing I was really mad about. Is how much they just stand there and die. Then the Sabine Swordsman 156, 152. Great job with the Sabines as well. Propane did an amazing job with an infantry army, which is the best way to play Saba. Just going to let you know. Enora's, of course, bringing 108 on an Eastern Scorpion. I didn't even see that in either match when I first played it in that replay. That's how you want the Scorpion to be. With that 153, 153 and 133 on those Parthian Foot Archers. Elite Parthian Swords, 202, 121. Hillman, 106, nice job, 92, nice. Parthian Noble Guard, only 56, but they were still healthy. They probably would have got over 100 against my Heroic Noble. And that guy never got used, really. Nice Rice here, 196 on that Desert Praetorian, and still super healthy. 117 on those heavy Numidian Skirmishers. That's the one that went against that Parthian Maceman. He should have brought more of these in my opinion. I think they are the best ranged unit for Desert Realm. But 120 for those Tribal Slingers. 101, 170 for those Desert Legionnaires. Heavy Numidians, 166, 155. That rounds it out. Not a lot of kills, not a lot of men brought. But with that, that is the battle. I hope you liked it. I did enjoy the mod. It was a little fun. Brought a little bit of spice and a little bit of rework. I think no defender should have Wallardy. I think that is perfectly balanced. I'll see y'all next time. And of course, let me know what you guys think. What could have been done better? What could have hit harder? But with that, bye for now.